So Thursday night, asana and pranayama class. Flowing restorative movements to begin with. And then more of the classic pranayama breathing practices to really settle into a deep sense of peace and calm. The first half restores the physical body, the energy. The second half restores spirit, goes deeper. Lying on the back, knees bent up, palms face up to the side of the body, and the eyes close. A little sigh out the mouth. And that sigh can really let that physical body surrender, soften, and let go. The inhalation, comfortable. And really let the inhalation have its full length. Exhale out the mouth, but I want you to imagine your joints are sighing. It could be the hip joints, the lower back. Could be the elbows and wrists if you've been working on a computer all day, driving. Could be the shoulders, ankles. Could be the knuckles, the fingers and toes. Exhale, sigh out through your joints, like they just become more spacious and open. And on your in-breath, you can breathe into those joints, spaciousness and openness, whichever one you're focusing on at the moment. Or perhaps all of them at once, a sense of wholeness. Breathe in, space. Breathe out, release. 3 more times. Tuning into your breath. A deep, long in-breath. And then exhale, hug the knees into the chest, wrap the hands around the shins. Allow the lower back to feel broad, but also long. So we're not going to curl the bottom up, we're going to let the tail stay slightly down towards the floor. Breathing in, feeling the full inhalation around the lungs, full expanse of the rib cage, into the center of the chest, out to the side ribs and into the back ribs. So the upper body, the chest area, the lungs, open, expansive. On the exhale, draw navel to spine, really narrow the waist as you get the last bit of breath out of the lungs, drawing navel to spine. Relax the belly, let it soften forward towards the thighs. Fill the lungs with breath comfortably, spacious. Exhale, squeeze a little more knees in as you squeeze navel to spine. Continue this process. Space for the in-breath, soften all those joints. The only tension on the out-breath is that firming of navel to spine, a healthy, grounding, supportive tension at the belly. This is really helping to lengthen through the spine, create a nice amount of pressure and a pumping of energy into the spine and the back body. We're going to inhale now and actually release feet to the mat at hip distance, arms out to the side and palms face down. Inhale. As you exhale, just a little bit of a tilt of the knees to the left And then inhale, center, and let the knees just tilt a little to the right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. It's very slow, and it's just kind of like a very watery, flowing movement across the back of the pelvis for the outer hip and inner groin. So I want you to be soft where your leg meets pelvis. We're actually exploring softness and letting go here. So as the knees go to the right inner groin can lengthen, open. As the knees go to the left inner groin opens. And then the knees might naturally start to go a little more without feeling you're pulling through your waist, lower back, or ribs. So it's quite comfortable. And the shoulders are down, grounded and heavy. Knees to one side, shoulders grounded down. Even a slight sense that you're drawing the shoulder blades down the back a little. Shoulder blades down the back and also down into the floor through the top part of the shoulder. And now the head might start to turn opposite way to the knees, but in a special way. Let the head be heavy first, almost like you're releasing the head off the neck so that the neck doesn't need to hold the weight of the head. The cheeks and the jaw, the tongue, they relax, they let the head go. And you just like the wave or the tide through the ocean. Very watery flow from side to side. And the spine is nourished. Continue. Be clear about the points that are touching the floor. Back of the pelvis, the back ribs. And get a picture in your mind of the points of the back body that are not touching the floor. The lumbar spine. Let's do one more each side. And then we inhale to center, bend the knees into the chest, happy baby pose. Lift the feet to face the ceiling, arms inside of the knees, hands wrapped to the outer ankles or maybe the foot, depending on your flexibility. Breathe. We're going to broaden through the collarbones, even though there can be a kind of narrowing of the chest here if the knees are not wide. Still try to roll the shoulders back, broaden the collarbones, and pin the bottom tips of your shoulder blades a little onto the back ribs and down the back. Feet flexed, heels back over the knees if you're flexible enough, or simply working in that direction if you're not so flexible. Broaden the collarbones, heart open, and breath flowing. Again, we can let the tailbone, instead of coming up off the floor, tailbone thinks down towards the floor, lengthening to the bottom edge of your mat. A little bit more contact of the back of the pelvis on the earth. Relax the face, soft cheeks, soft tongue. Light and open across the skin of the throat, sides of the neck, long and relaxed. Hold jaw relaxed, hold temples relaxed, whole forehead relaxed, whole of the eyebrows and eyes relaxed, across the nose, cheeks, upper lip, all of the lips, chin. And again down through jaw and throat, down to the collarbone, across the collarbone, broad heart. One more breath. And from there, release the hands and arms, release the knees to the mat, palms face down by the side of the hips, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, backward tilt of the hips, flattening the lumbar spine to the earth. Slight crunching of the belly. Inhale, stretch the belly as you forward tilt the pelvis. Exhale, backward tilt, pubic bone towards the lower ribs. Inhale, forward tilt, pubic bone down towards your heels or towards the tailbone. Twice more with the tilting of the pelvis, just at a pace that suits you. And then inhale to a neutral pelvis, neutral spine, heart open, collarbones broad, and lightly float up through the hips, lifting the bottom and the lower back off the floor. And just notice how you feel as you get to your first stage, your first step of lifting. Find total comfort, like the shoulders are moving down away from the neck and ears, so there's lots of space for the neck. Top of the shoulders, either side of the neck, actually feels like it's pushing down, more down towards the core of the body. Inhale. On the exhale, slowly let the spine float back down to the floor. Find the back of the shoulders into the floor, top part of the shoulder rolls back. Find the feet into the floor like they broaden, spread a little. Inhale, float the hips up. Shoulders and feet present in your consciousness. Map out the foot with your mind connecting to the sensations in the right foot. What sort of an indentation would it make into the earth? Where are the heavy bits? Where are the light bits? The sensation of the left foot. So you want the center of the heel heavy, the base of the big toe heavy, the ball of the foot there, the base of the little toe, the ball of the foot there, heavy. 3 points of contact. And exhale, slowly lower down. Take a deep, long breath as you rest. Regulate the breath just a little. Find those feet again. Find the top of the shoulders rolling back again. Whole length of the upper arm down. Whole length of the lower arm, forearm down into the floor. Palms spread, hands down. We're looking for downward connection with feet, arms, and shoulders to lift the spine up. I want your attention to be on the downward points. Now, the back of the neck is actually quite light, and it's the top of the shoulders and the back of the head that are your grounding points. Back of the neck it's almost like the arch of the foot that's between two grounding points. Arch of the foot is between ball of the foot and heel. The little arch of the back of the neck is between the shoulders and the head. You're still lifted, you're still breathing, it is active, thighs are alive. Lift up through the underside of your thigh, your hamstrings, like they lift a little up, up, up. And really feel into the back of your knees, like they spread and smile. The back of the knees open and lift. Ah, lovely. Keep that happening even as you exhale and lower down with the spine. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, knees to the left. Face, gentle roll of the head to turn to look towards the right shoulder. Relax completely. Breathe. The consciousness and the awareness is going to be across the waist and belly. As we breathe. Points that touch the floor are heavy and resting. The belly has a sense of stretch and twist. And can we let our consciousness go from the skin of the belly at the front, behind that towards the organs of digestion, the organs of the abdomen, and then behind that to the front of the spine, the large body of the spine, and behind that to the back of the spine, we get a little bit more sense of the muscles, the postural muscles, all the way into the skin of the back body. Let the awareness go around right side waist, front of the belly, and the underside, left side waist, where it's a bit more shadowy and dark and not quite as accessible, most probably, because it's squeezed. And let's go other side. Inhale, knees and nose to center. Exhale, knees to the right. The head rolls so the face looks to left shoulder. You can close the eyes, soft cheeks, soft jaw. open across the skin of the throat, the skin of the chest, the whole of the heart. Awareness comes into the waist and we breathe. You might have the awareness from your left lower ribs towards your right hip, the diagonal stretch that we're in. Just enjoy every breath. One more round of breath. Feeling the whole of the belly from front to middle to back to the spine. And then inhale, come up to center. Exhale, hands face down by the side of the body. Now feel into those very clear 3 points of the foot, center front of the heel, base of the big toe, base of the little toe. So the two balls of the feet, either side of the front. Then we inhale, lift the hands, lift the hips. Back of the hands touch the floor behind you. Exhale, lower the arms and lower the hips down. Inhale, floating up, open the chest, side ribs. Exhale. Really deep armpits as the arms come forward and down. Imagine your armpit is deepening up, deepening up. Inhale. You've got a long side body, deep up into those armpits. Every inhale, the arms lift, the pelvis lifts. Every exhale, we lower and feel more of the earth. If there's anything interesting happening in the feet and ankles, like little wobbles and movements, please attend to that. Yeah, if you're finding the knees are moving in and out, let's look for some steadiness. Maybe you could spread the toes a little more, or even lift the toes to get a bit more clarity of where the ball of the foot is. Let's do one more. Clear with our feet, clear with our ankles and knees. And then the last one. From there, coming down, left ankle over right knee. Inhale, wide arms, and exhale, lower the knees to the left. Inhale to center. Keep that ankle over the knee even as you lower the knees to the right. Inhale to center again, knees to left. Inhale, center, knees to right. This is the bum stretch pose. Inhale, center, and then we lift the right foot, drawing the right knee in towards the chest. Now the hands can either go behind the back of the right knee or sort of through that space between the two legs, or any position that's comfortable for you. You might even straighten the right leg. Both feet slightly flexed, alive through the skin, the sole of the foot, but not hardening. Just again, a sense of broadness and life in the sole of the foot. Just take your time for this stretch of the left outer hip. You breathe softness into it in a very literal, in a felt way. The inhalation is when we soften, we create space and ease for the full breath to enter the body and nourish us. The exhale, you can draw navel to spine and just slightly intensify the direction of the pose. Left ankle towards chest or right shoulder. Continue enjoying your relationship to body and breath. One more breath. On the in-breath, we release. Right foot to the mat, left foot to the mat. Palms face down by the side of the body. Inhale, lift the hands, lift the hips, half bridge pose. And exhale, lower down. Right ankle over the back of the left knee, arms wide. Lower the knees to the right. Inhale, center. Lower the knees to the left. Inhale, center. Again to both sides. We're feeling, we're sensing, we're noticing. And then coming in. Left knee towards the chest. It'll take the right ankle with it. Find your way to do the pose. Maybe left hand goes through the two thighs, around the back of the right knee, interlacing fingers. Notice if this side feels different to the other side. You might straighten through the left leg, breathing. Can we broaden the collarbones again and really find those shoulder blades on the back of the ribs comfortably? Shoulder blades on the back body. It's a fascinating thing to discover. And for some of us, it's nice to feel the space of the shoulder blades back away from the ribs. And for others of us, it's nice to feel the shoulder blades really hugging in and up onto the ribs. So I'd like you to play with that here as you're resting on the back. It's going to be a lot of blood and warmth into the back body right now. So we can bring our consciousness into these very subtle things. How do my ribs feel? How does my relationship between shoulder blade and ribs feel? Remember, the inhalation is creating space. The exhalation, we can draw navel to spine and intensify. And then we're going to inhale and release, taking both feet to the mat, feet hip distance, hands by the side of the hips. Breathe in, lift the hands, lift the hips. Breathe out, lowering down. Twice more. I think we can put in the extra bit of the sequence. So let's actually begin now. As you lower down through the hands and the hips, let's inhale, lift the feet, flex the feet a little. Exhale, take the legs wide into a V. We're firming the thighs. Inhale, squeeze an imaginary beach ball between the thighs as you come back with ankles together. Exhale, bend the knees, feet to the mat. And we start again, lift the hands, lift the hips. Exhale to lower. Lift the legs as you breathe in through the nose. Widen them, draw navel to spine. Breathing out. Firm thighs, inhale together. And exhale, feet to the mat. Inhale, lift the hands, lift the hips. Memorize the sequence if you can. Exhale and lower down, hands by the hips. Inhale, the feet come up. Stretch the back of the legs. Exhale, feet flexed as you open wide. Inhale together. Exhale, feet to the mat. And do the last one by yourself. Tuning into your own internal rhythms, movement and breath. Your own internal energy. Your own pace. Feet are on the mat, hip distance. A little bit of awareness of the soles of the feet grounding into the earth. Maybe a sense of weight or almost even pressing a little into the earth, but more like a sigh of releasing weight, grounding down. So from there, we're going to take the left hand onto the center of the chest. We're going to inhale, lift the hips, reach the left hand over the right shoulder, roll to look to the right and onto the right shoulder as you reach the left hand overhead on a diagonal across to the right. Then inhale back to center, same side. 4 or 5 times. Roll over the right shoulder a little. Let the head roll on the floor as you look to reach over, nose and eyes towards the fingertips. Lifting the hips, rolling over. So you don't have to lift high. Just feel what's right for you, a nice natural reach and lift. After you've done a few on that side, the right hand on the center of the heart, left arm wherever is comfortable, lift the hips and roll over the shoulder to the other side. 4 or 5 times is good. Lift and roll. And if you're not lifting, you can focus on the rolling rather than the half bridge pose with the hips. Needs to suit you. Last one, and then inhale. Coming back to center. We're going to fly the feet up and we're going to press our hands down by the side of the hips. And as we fly the feet up over the face, the bottom might slightly lift up. It also might not. That's fine. You can just get a sense of rolling up onto the back of the pelvis with the tailbone slightly lifting. You can come up as high as you like onto the shoulders. Arms are down, feet are going up and down. A few more times, however's comfortable for you. Last one. Good, and then as we come up, we're actually going to let the roll take us all the way onto toe tips, sitting up, holding on to the knees. Beautiful. Roll the shoulders back, broad and open chest. Looking forward with the face. Now, collarbones broad. Here's a wonderful opportunity to really feel that you can stretch across the collarbones. Broad shoulders, relaxed back and down. From there, take the hands behind the back of the knees. Lift one foot. Lean back a little and lift the other foot. Keep the chest broad and open. Rise up through the side waist, side ribs, deep, deep, deep armpits. Looking forward to the face and take a breath or two. Just feeling into your own strength. If it's too much, bend the knees. If it's quite good, you can release the hands, palms face each other, either knees bent or legs straight. Inhale, exhale, toe tips to the mat. Roll the shoulders back, hug the shins. Breathe. Straighten the other leg. Begin to lean back, hands behind the knees, both legs straight, or knees bent if you need. Arms straight, palms face each other, roll the shoulders back, broad chest, heart open, tummy feeling fiery and strong, passionate. Toe tips to the mat, hold the shins. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. From there, we're going to do a twist. So we're going to inhale, lift the left arm up, slide the elbow inside the two knees, the crook of the left elbow around the right knee. The right hand can come behind us. Now, if the shoulder isn't quite feeling right, we can really take the thumb back, external rotation of upper arm, and really ground the head of that arm bone into the back of the shoulder socket. If it still doesn't feel great, I really recommend you find a way to do the pose that suits you. Could be anything. Has to be your body feeling really good. So when the spine's quite strong, you can not need the touch of the hand on the floor. But if that's really not working for you, this is more elegant. And inhale, let's change the arms. Right elbow, crook of the elbow around left knee. And exhale, twist left. So I like to reach the arm out simply because it reminds me to lift up through the spine, not to slump. But you have to be ready for that. Last breath. And and release. Both hands holding on to the shins, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reaching hands and legs. Yep. And we can do a twist here. So left hand can take a hold of the back of the left calf, twist. Right hand, the back of the right calf, twist. Come back to center, lower the feet. Beautiful. And release. So we're going to come in a twisty action now. Both hands to the floor. Lean back, both hands to the floor. Just see how that feels. Find a comfortable way to do it. You might need the feet further away. Might just come onto fingertips. If you're quite good, quite comfortable here, extend the legs to straight. Come into a push-up, lift the back hip, roll onto the side hip. As we twist around this time, actually twist a lot more and start to work your hands across onto the mat. And you're going to start to tuck the toes so you can use your feet to the earth. Just turn your pelvis to face the mat and lower down onto the pelvis in baby bhujangasana. Elbows under the shoulders, forearms aligned, fingers spread, middle finger pointing forward. Both sides of the wrist equally long and open. Underside of the wrist spreading. Spreading sensation. Shoulders anchored. Tops of the feet anchored down. Few more breaths. Check the thighs feel comfortable. They're not feeling too stuck. So you can take the heels in a little and heels out a little to just see the freedom in the groin. Get rid of any sense of the thighs being stuck. Another way is to just lift one hip and then the other as we twist a little through the back of the pelvis. Free any sense of being stuck in the groin or hips. And then we exhale, one hand on top of the other as you lower forward onto hands, elbows forward, close the eyes and rest there on the belly. Continue resting on the belly. Find your most comfortable position. So if you have a ring on your finger that you need to turn around, or if you prefer the hands by the side of the hips, you can adjust. Comfortably rest. A very slight sense of lightness in the head, just as you take the hands to the side of the ribs. Spread the fingers, press down into the floor, and then inhale, lift the head, roll the shoulders back. Press down with the feet, engage up through the legs, calves, thighs, alive. Reach the legs up through the spine, like as if your legs go all the way up through your spine to your heart. It's an open channel from legs, thighs, up through the open pelvis, right up the spine to the heart. Your legs continue up right up to the center of the chest. Inhale. And exhale very lightly. Touch the forehead to the mat. Bend the knees. Heels squeeze in towards the bottom. Then tuck the toes onto the mat again. Come back through cat to dog. Find your dog. I want you to really have a play in your dog. There's so much that we can do in our dog. Freeing thighs with pelvis, knees that want to reach forward towards the armpits, like they want to snuggle in there. Top thigh back,
Wide pelvic floor, wide and open, across the back of the pubic bone, across the front of the sacrum. Be free in your down dog. You can twizzle the arms, elbows in and out, wrists free, shoulders free. The feeling of the outer edge arm moving all the way into the back of the heart. All those good things. Neck completely free. Feel if you wanted to, you could pounce forward. Or if you wanted to, you could lift the arms all the way back up. So you're totally connected. One more breath in, happy, comfortable, free-limbed dog. And then exhale, a light touch of the knees to the mat. Left foot steps forward into a lunge. Inhale, wide arms, reaching up. Palms together, interlace fingers, turn palms to sky. And take a breath there. Exhale, a gentle forward fold. And inhale, left hand to sky. So we're going to roll the shoulders back, upper arm bone deep into the back of the shoulder joint. If you're feeling really comfortable, you can lift the back leg, deepen into the pose. Breathing consistently. Every exhale, draw navel to spine. Every inhale, broad heart and lungs. On the exhale, taking the hand back down to the mat. Comfortable touch of palms to mat, wrists free, elbows free. Front foot flies back behind you. Stretch it nice and high, up into the sky. Inhale, open through the hip. Like someone's taken a hold of your thigh and they're trying to draw it back and up out of the pelvis. And exhale, bend the knee into the chest, nose to knee, and then step the foot down into dog and lower the knees. Rest in prayerful child, elbows to the mat, palms to prayer, forehead to the mat, bottom up and back. Broad across the back of the pelvis. Broad between the two sit bones. External rotation of that upper arm when you're in your prayerful child. Armpits downward to earth. Well, actually, armpits feel they're stretching open. Exhale, release, hands to the mat, inhale to cat, tuck the toes, exhale, dog with free elbows, knees, hips, shoulders, neck. Deep, long inhale. Exhale, the lightest touch of the knees to the mat, like you're drawing up through your inner thigh, you're really connecting right up towards the pelvis, and then stepping forward with the right foot. Inhale, wide arms, interlace fingers, turn palms to sky. Breathing. Lots of length through the waist, side, ribs. Soft down the sides of the neck, top of the shoulders. Exhale, forward fold. Right hand lifts with a twist. Shoulders anchoring. Upper arm bones rolling back. Inhale. On the exhale, if you're feeling quite strong, draw navel to spine. Lift the back knee. Maybe even come lighter on the bottom hand. Just fingertips to mat. Legs drawing in to hold the pelvis, so the pelvis is lighter. The spine at the back of the pelvis is lighter, fuller. Inhale and exhale. Can lower the hand, lower the knee. Hands to the mat. The front foot, we're going to fly it back into down dog. Actually, let's keep the back knee up to do that. So fly front leg all the way back, nice and high. Let the leg feel it's being lengthened out of the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee in towards the nose, around a little through the spine, and then touch foot back down to dog position. Walk the hands back to your feet. Feet hip distance, take a hold of opposite elbows and rest in Uttanasana. Once you've had a moment to make sure you're comfortable here, a little bit of a check how the feet are functioning. Not dropping the insteps. A little bit of more the weight coming forward into the forefoot, heels light, toes relaxed, lengthening and spread. Knees thinking forward, top shins forward, not back. Top front of the thigh deepening back and lifting up into the lower back. So that from the tail, the whole spine is a bit like a waterfall, but it goes up and over. Up and over. 2 more comfortable moments here. And from there, bend the knees, release the arms, take the arms wide. Inhale, slowly roll up through the spine as you straighten the legs and arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. We're going to finish with a squat. You can take the feet a little wider, maybe the toes go out on a 45 angle if you need. Hands in front of the heart, elbows just on the inner tips of the knees. If you're flexy, you can parallel the outer edges of the feet. If you're feeling that the heels are high, roll up the back of your mat, place it under the heels for support. Or use a blanket if you need a little bit more height. Shoulders roll back. So I'm a little flexy, which means I'm not quite engaging through thighs, pelvis, spine. So I'm just going to get a little bit more lift to get that engagement that I'm looking for. One more breath. And then exhale, releasing hands to the mat. Slide them forward into cat position. So you can walk the knees forward and sit on the heels in the center of your mat in Vajrasana. Sit bones on the feet, hands to the lap. Now, if that is not right for you, it might be uncomfortable for the feet, knees. Come to cross legs. Make sure you're facing the screen now. Close the eyes. And simply let the pelvis sit. Feel the weight of the pelvis sink down, whether it's on the floor, a blanket, or you're sitting onto your heels. The pelvis feel like a wide bowl with a clear base that sits perfectly on whatever surface it's sitting on. Connects to that surface really well. The bowl of your pelvis connecting with the earth. Once the pelvis feels really settled, let's also be aware of the whole of the chest, heart, lungs. Notice how it feels. Just let it settle. Relaxing through the whole shoulder girdle, the front through collarbone and front shoulders, and the back through the whole shoulder blades. Front and back of the shoulders settle.
The neck can be free and quite light as it rises up into the skull. Whole of the head, left side and right side, front and back of the head, relaxed. The brain inside the head, relaxed. Begin to take the awareness to the breath, feeling the touch of the air on the inhalation around the nostril tips. And on the exhalation, warm air brushes past the nostril tips. Continue following the pathway of the breath. From nostril tip through back of the throat, into the lungs, into the belly. And from belly and lungs, back of the throat and back out the nose. Relax a little more. Perhaps the joints feel a sense of spaciousness and ease. Shoulders, elbows, wrists, neck, spine, hips, knees and ankles. Perhaps the joints feel light and open. And perhaps deep within the belly, any feeling of energy there can calm and settle. So you allow the breath on each inhale and each exhale to be felt at the belly. And see if you can find a central point where at the belly the breath feels most obvious. Perhaps just under the navel. The movement on the inhale and the movement there on the exhale. Really felt. You can relax even a little more. Just simply feel the belly move with the breath. Pleasantly relaxed as you breathe. As you stay with the breath. And finally, just connecting the sensation of the air at the nose tip and the sensation of the breath at the belly. As you feel the inhalation touching the nostril tips, you feel what's happening at the lower belly. Same with exhale. The relationship between these 2 points, conscious in your mind. One more round of breath. And then we'll release any breath practice at all and come back just to being present. You might be aware of the whole of your body, full length, full breadth. You might be aware of the room that you're seated in. We're going to release now. With the palms face up, reach them wide. Inhale, reach out and up. Let the chin lift as you look up at the palms coming together. Exhale the hands to the heart. Make sure you're comfortable. If you need to adjust the legs, you can do that now. So coming together to close the class, we'll chant the Om mantra 3 times. Close the eyes, breathing in. And bowing the head. Take a moment to feel into any sense of satisfaction, happiness, contentedness. Any thankfulness that might be present to yourself, to the yoga, just to this moment of being. Inhale, let's lift the face, open the eyes, have a little reach and stretch. Notice how you feel. Oh. And let me know if you do feel a little renewed and rejuvenated, or if you feel really heavy and sleepy. It's always good to check in and notice how the practice has landed with you.